What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the painting desk. Today I am working on the Korps of Krieg kill team. I know I'm a little late to the game in getting this set, but I did the terrain the other day and I'm really excited to get these two kill teams painted up. So I'll be demonstrating a paint scheme on one of these guys, but I'm not going to be doing the standard blue scheme that you see online everywhere. So I found this image online of some alternate Korps of Krieg schemes, and I don't know, I really like the this tan look with the gray gloves. I also like this one here with the green accents. So I don't know, I think I'm going to do an alternate scheme. Maybe like this one right here, or possibly this one. And maybe I'll do a darker mask instead of the tan one, just to kind of break up the colors. But yeah, you know, the more I look at it, I think I really like this one. So I'm gonna go and try to implement this. So some colors I have. We have Steel Legion Drab. That'll probably be my base coat. And then I'll layer on some maybe some Talloran Sand, get that in there, and probably on the top of some Karex Stone. See how that looks. So starting off, I did a base coat of Chaos Black primer, and I'm just going to go in on the jacket and the pants with Steel Legion Drab. So taking the Steel Legion Drab, I'm just going to thin it out and do a base coat over pretty much the whole model. The exception of the boots, but I'll get these straps along the boots and all along the jacket here. And with that base coat completed, I did do a couple thin coats to get the nice even coverage. I'm going to be going over his mask, his boots, and his gloves with Corvus Black for starters. So I'm also going to come in here and do this back canister in Corvus Black. And then to break up the browns a little bit, I'm going to come in with Scrag Brown, and I'm just going to paint on this center box here and these shoulder straps, and these also he's got these straps here holding on his shoulder plates, so I'll paint those. And then also his belt here, Scrag Brown. And then to bring out the accent a little bit on these parts of his jacket that are folded up, and also on his cuffs, I'm going to be taking 50-50 of Steel Legion Drab and Scrag Brown on my wet palette. Mix those together. So I get just a little bit of a toned down version of Scrag Brown, and I'm just going to focus on the underside of his jacket here. And then also on his cuffs, just to break up the tans a little bit. And with that 50-50 mix done on the underside of his jacket and on his cuffs, I'm going to focus on the back now with Mornfang Brown, and I'm just going to paint these big boxes here on his back for his sleeping bag, or whatever that is. We're just going to do that in Eshin Gray. And then with Eshin Gray, I'm just going to come in on the rolled up tarp or sleeping bag. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a sleeping bag. We'll call it a sleeping bag. And with the backpack and the sleeping bag painted, I also noticed that I missed the collars. So I went back with those with the same 50-50 mix. So his collar I painted. And then also I'm going to do these straps on his backpack. I'm going to do those in Scrag Brown so they match what's going on here. So we got these straps down here, and we also have these ones on the side and these straps up on top. Okay, and with that painted, so I got the straps painted. Just gonna look at our reference art real quick. So I'm kind of doing this scheme right here for the most part. So we're gonna do the green bits on the armor, so it looks like his shoulder pads, the pieces on his gloves, as well as his helmet. So I'm going to do, I'll start with basing that in Castilian green. Alright, so we're going to do the helmet, the shoulder pads, and I'm also going to do his cover on his gun in Castilian green. So this bit right here, the shoulder pad, helmet, and then also he's got these plates on his gloves. And with the green on the armor plating done, I'm going to come in and do some detailing on the metalwork. Let's do that with lead belcher. So with lead belcher, I'm going to do the sword blade. I'm also going to do the gun. And these bits on his gas mask, as well as the console inside his suit, and this little connector piece here at the top of his mask. Those lead belcher parts painted up on the sword, I'm going to come in with brass scorpion, and we're going to do anywhere where you see an aquila. So on his helmet, we'll also do the handle of the sword and the skull on his backpack and that little aquila on his canister there. He's also got these arrows on his backpack. Those are buckles, so I'm gonna also do those in brass scorpion. Also, he's got this skull on the back of this gun, so we're gonna pick that out as well. Similarly on this side. Alright, so now all the metallic details are done. Base coats at least, so now all the base coats all around the model are done, so I'm going to go in with some Agrax Earthshade and add some contrast. So now I'm coming in with some Agrax Earthshade. I'm just going to go around all of the areas on the coat and his clothing, the pouches, the leather. I will also the green on his armor. I will be avoiding the metallic areas, so I'll be going over those with Nuln oil. I'm also thinning this on my palette a little bit with some water so it's not super intense, because you can always add more layers. I was going to do the boots, but I changed my mind. And the Agrax Earthshade wash is all dry. So next I'm going to be going in on the coat areas with Tallarn sand. Do this very light layers, focus on the higher areas. So thinning out some Tallarn sand. Just going to start layering this on the clothing areas, focusing on the raised edges and leaving those darker tones underneath. And with that layering complete, you can see it's brightened them up quite a bit. Now I'm going to go back on these parts that are folded up in his cufflinks. I'm going to try a 50-50 mix of Tallarn sand and Scrag brown, so it's kind of similar to the base coat, but just that shade up. And we'll try to bring that contrast back. And with that mixture, I'm just going to come in and start focusing on the raised areas on these parts of the coat that are folded up. Trying to focus on the raised edges, and then also on his collar. And his cuffs. That layering done. It's already looking a lot brighter. Now I'm going to come in with some Karak stone on the main parts of his jacket, just to make those even lighter. And I'm going to focus on the edges mostly and the most raised areas. Try to blend that in. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to bring back the green a little bit by just going over, mixing some of that Karak stone into my green color. Alright, and the green is brought back, I thought it was a little heavy-handed, so I came back in with the Castilian green, watered down quite a bit, and just kind of blended that in with the lighter green color, just to bring back, tone down that extreme green, just like that. So kind of feathering it in, and it's kind of always hard to tell because it goes on a lot lighter and then it dries darker. Okay, so then now I'm gonna do Nuln oil, and we're gonna do that on the blade and the other silver metallic bits and on the gun. Also going to get this on his mask and on his mask hose, and we're going to get it on the power sword. First, now we're going to let this dry and move on to our final highlights and basing. Alright, and with a very steady hand, I'm going to paint the eyes in Abaddon black. So unfortunately I ran out of camera space, so I had to delete some stuff, but I did go around with Mechanicus standard gray and highlighted some areas on the boots, on the bag, and on his mask. Okay, next I'm going to take the Carrick stone that's already out and just do a very thin edge highlight on the brown leather bags on his chest. And then also doing a very subtle highlight on the backpack with that same Carrick stone. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a highlight on the green, and I think we can call this guy done. On the green, I'm going to be using Elysian green and very subtle, just fine edge highlighting on this. For basing, I'm going to do Sterling Battlemire. And then give it a wash, and then give it a nice gray dry brush to make it look kind of like a World War I battlefield no man's land. While that dries, I decided I'm going to do a little bit of weathering, rough this guy up a bit. So I'm going to take this really crappy brush that's supposed to be a fine point brush, but you can see the tip is completely gone because this is a cheap brush I got on Amazon, and it served its use. So I'm going to use that, take some of my lead belcher on my palette, and we're just going to stipple some scratches on the armor. And on the gun, and a little couple of spots on his helmet. Alright, so he's got a little bit of battle damage. I think that'll look nice. To take the metallics one step further, I'm also going to do some Canaptic alloy very lightly. It's almost like a dry brush, but I'm going to focus on the edges of his saber. Some highlights. This lighting's pretty intense right now, so I will get a nice reveal shot that has better lighting that shows you what I am seeing. The detail might look a little splotchy. This zoomed in, this washed out. It does look much better in person. Trust me. There we go. And the battle mire is about dry. So now I'm going to just do some Null oil over that. I'm going to come in with a very light dry brush of Dawnstone on the base. There you have it, the finished Death Korps of Krieg in an alternate color scheme. I hope you like this video. Let me know what you think of my color scheme. Do you like it? Do you think it looks too much like Acadian? If you like this color scheme, leave a comment below, let me know. Like this video also. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.